Hello, today's presentation is entitled Parental Socioeconomic Status and Students' Academic Outcomes. It's a research proposal by myself, Caprecia Singleton. So first I'm going to start out with a little bit about who I am. As I already mentioned, my name is Caprecia Shante Singleton, which is what the C stands for. Currently, I'm an elementary school teacher in Jackson Public Schools in Jackson, Mississippi, and I'm also a Master of Social Work student at Jackson State University. I am doing this presentation today for my Social Work 555 class, which is Research Methods, and it's going to be about my research proposal. So what I have in store for you. So first we have the description of the problem, which will come soon, research question and hypothesis, analyzing the variables. Then we're going to go a blast from the past, which is going to be a literature review, just a quick glance over about literature that's been published related to my research question. And then we're going to go over my research design and data collection. So as I mentioned, we're going to talk about the history and significance of the problem. And I would like to start with saying that there are three main points that continue to impact us today that came from the past. That's agriculture, slavery, and separate but equal. Being in Mississippi, a lot of the money used to come from an agricultural culture here. And with that, during farming season, many students didn't go to school who needed to help out at home. This is what began the racial divide here in Mississippi according to race and wage as far as schooling goes. Next, we have slavery. So a lack of education is not new. It's not a new problem in Mississippi. Currently, Mississippi's public education system is ranked number 49 out of 50. Due to the state once having a large concentration of slavery, a large majority of African Americans continue to reside in the area, and the segregated mindset continues to impact the schooling even today. While separate but equal was overturned in 1954, Mississippi didn't begin to integrate their schools until 1970, and even today the schools are self-segregated. This is to say that majority of the public school students are Black, while the private school students are white. This impacts the way the students learn their education and move forward with their lives. So the research question I have for my proposal is, what is the significant relationship between parental socioeconomic status and school attendance of elementary school-aged children? This question is just looking to see if there is a relationship between the two factors. It's not looking to find out the cause or anything like that. It will have the variables that we'll see which may help us understand the cause of this relationship, but right now we're looking to identify a relationship first. The hypothesis is that there will be a positive correlation between parental socioeconomic status and school attendance for elementary school-aged children. This is to say that the more a parent makes, the more likely their child is to attend school, and the less a parent makes, the less likely their child is to attend school consistently. This is what keeps the poor poor and the rich richer, because schooling has been shown to be a positive factor in income. This is to say that the more schooling somebody has, the more likely they are to make more money. So the variables are, first, the independent variable, the parental socioeconomic status, which is measured by a parent's education level, their income, as far as how many kids are in the house, and things like that. Next is the dependent variable, which is elementary school children's school attendance. So just how often they're going to school. Covariates are variables that can skew data if we're not truly accounting for them. So points that I want to look at but aren't examining closely are age, gender, race, parental marital status, number of children in the household, parental occupation status, and type of schooling attended by the student, such as public versus private. And next, we're going to go over a little bit of the past research. I actually looked at 3 articles in order to do this. So the first one was published by Professor Reddy in 2010. The title of the article was Socioeconomic Disadvantaged School Attendance and Early Cognitive Development, the Differential Effects of the School Exposure. The research question was, what is the link between children's social class, school absences, and academic growth during kindergarten and first grade? Overall, this study found that effects of schooling on cognitive development are stronger for lower socioeconomic status children, and that the findings associated with theories of summer learning loss are applicable to literacy development during early elementary school. So furthermore, this study is pushing us to notice that although they continue to achieve at a lower absolute level, socioeconomically disadvantaged children who have good attendance rates gain more literacy skills than higher socioeconomically peers during kindergarten and first grade. The next article is by Caprecia and colleagues. It was entitled The Role of Poverty Status and Obesity on School Attendance in the United States. It was published in 2014. This study looked at the joint effect of poverty and obesity on school attendance. They found that obesity does impact a child's school attendance. So, although the reasons for missing school and long-term consequences of severe absenteeism may nonetheless be different from poor versus non-poor youth, it does make a difference if they are obese or not. And obesity is actually a higher factor for those who live in socioeconomically lesser areas. And the last article I looked at was published by Professor Tobin in 2014, and it was entitled Homeless Students and Academic Achievement, Evidence from a Large Urban Area. It looked to see if students who were homeless fared worse than students who lived in poor households. They found that there is no meaningful difference in achievement between homeless youth and low socioeconomic students, but that this indicates that the policies and prevention methods strategized for students who are low on the SES should be the same as students who are homeless. The research design that I am proposing is a quantitative cross-sectional correlation design, and the study was selected because it places an emphasis on testing objective theories by examining relationships among variables and is easily adapted with a large group of people. So for this study, I would need a pretty large sample, hopefully of about at least 1,000 to 2,000 people, because there are over 5,000 students in the Jackson Public School District, which is my target. So I needed a design that would allow me to work with a lot of people, but also give me a quantitative outcome, because in order to look for my correlation, it would be easiest to analyze my data using a statistical analysis, which I need quantitative data for. The population that is a target here are all parents who have children who attend elementary schools in the Jackson Public School District. I have to work with the parents instead of the youth directly, because dealing with elementary age children requires a lot of consent given by parents. And also at this age, most children don't choose when they do and do not go to school. It is a parent's choice most of the time. So it's best to talk to the parents who are in charge of getting the children to school. The data collection method would be self-administered questionnaire. This questionnaire wouldn't collect any personal data such as address, name, social security number, anything that can identify the person, but it will look to see for things such as socioeconomic status variables, as well as what kind of schooling your child is attending, how often your child attends school, and also look at attitudes towards schools losing a Likert scale. And that way we'd be able to see how they value school, if they think school can adequately prepare their students for the future. And that is all that I have for you. I hope you have a great time. If you have any further questions, please reach out to me or read my document if you would like to. Thank you.